Ladies and gentlemen, a reading from the work in progress, The Great Reset, Volume 3, The Fist of God. The only car that wasn't parked was a sedan the color of old gum, a rideshare that slid to the curb without being called. That was the tell, no plate sticker. Guys saw the second tell in the side mirror of a parked box truck, a man leaning against a newspaper stand across the street without a newspaper and without the patience to fake it. Their eyes met. Not the car, Guy said softly, and not this street. Val didn't look. She had spotted the third tell, a GoPro-style cube mag-mounted to an eave above them, power cable dressed along the angle iron with black tape, a hastily mounted camera to film her capture. She said, "Gotcha," and pivoted them right, away from the waiting back seat, past a stack of pallets toward a metal roll-up half-painted with a mural of a heron. The heron winked. A red dot crawled along its neck and found Guy's shoulder. "Down," he said, and pulled Val into the wedge between the roll-up and a dumpster. The first suppressed round ticked sparks from the steel where his head had been, and the second took a chip of concrete off the curb. To her credit, Guy thought fondly, Valentina didn't even flinch. She wasn't the same woman he'd met a year before. He thumbed off the safety and racked the slide of Priya's gun. 2 men came from the rideshare and 2 more from the newspaper stand, calm as you please, pistols low and ready. In the alley mouth, an MPD cruiser eased past slowly, eyes on the opposite walk. The cops didn't even glance left. Guy shoved his backpack at Val. "Get to cover and put the suit on," he said, and leaned out once, just long enough to shoot the padlock off of the roll-up. The sharp crack rang out deafeningly, and the 4 assassins ducked. Metal rattled. The door jumped 3 inches. The jackal from the newspaper stand, a clean-cut hotel bartender-looking man in a matte puffer jacket, was the first to pop into view. Guy's heel came up and the man's chin jerked sideways. A backhand chop caught the man's forearm and his gun clanged and spun onto the dumpster. The other 3 appeared, each leveling a suppressed pistol at Guy, but at that moment a white cloud billowed out from between his legs, engulfing them all. A sharp kick caved in the back of his knee, exactly as Val had seen him do earlier, and he collapsed just as gunshots riddled the roll-up where he had been standing. He hit the pavement heavily and felt Val's fingers tug at his sleeve. Not realizing what had happened, he lay dazed for an instant, but her voice snapped at him with Latin impatience. "Puchica futuro, vamos!" Her arm was pulling on him from under the metal slats of the roll-up. He paused a moment more, tempted to fly her blindly into the smoke, but didn't want to risk a shot finding its way into an innocent bystander half a mile away. He rolled over and scrambled under the heron's thin legs before they clanged back down. Instead of listening to him, Val had pried a fire extinguisher from its bracket and painted the gunman with it. He could hear coughing, but knew they wouldn't wait until it subsided. They would be following them inside in half a second, bleary eyes and all. Guy shoved a pallet against the door's bottom rail, hoping to wedge it shut, and rolled to his feet. They ran together, deep into the shadows, only a few shafts of yellow slanting in through the bullet holes to light their way. "Mayday," a voice crackled from Priya's radio. "Come in," she said, frowning. "Agent Hammond," the voice said, "returning from the Capitol op. Langley is a smoking crater. Over." "Say again, Agent?" "My base is gone. A smoking crater in the ground, a hole going all the way to China. I am currently Ronin, looking for someone to report to." "I have no idea what you're talking about," Priya said. "What's your 20? I need to hole up until I receive orders." Sheesh, Priya thought. Last thing I need is another man around here. "Negative. We're in hot pursuit. Can't be babysitting anyone right now." "Hot pursuit of who?" "Whom?" "Whatever. I'm on my way back downtown. I can assist." "We have it well under control. We got the Guatemalan girl in our crosshairs." That made Hammond pause on the other end of the radio. "What Guatemalan girl?" "The one all over the news. The one you can't not know about. Her and her idiot boyfriend." "Boyfriend? Geez Louise," she thought. "What's this jerk's problem?" "Yes!" "Handsome fella?" Hammond asked. "Black movie star hair, green eyes, blue overcoat?" "Yeah, looks like what's his name, Superman. I got 4 jackals on them." "Toots," Hammond said, straightening up and looking at the sky, his breath like ghosts in the January air. "If you're going after Fox, you're going to need a lot more than 4 guys." "Val," Guy said. "Fire stairs." "See." He hit the card reader with Priya's bump key, the laminated city auditor card, and the stair door coughed open. Inside, cinder block and stale air. Val slipped through and held the door with her foot. Guy stayed long enough to listen for sounds of pursuit. Then the shots rang out, loud despite the suppressors. The first string went wide, and Guy yanked the stair door shut, catching Val's eye, and took them down, not up. 2 floors of hammering air later, he pulled them through another door into an old city steam tunnel. Val slid in after him and eased the door shut with a quiet click. "Perfect," Guy whispered. "Why?" Val asked. Then, "Wow, it's really warm in here." "Got your COVID mask? Put it on." They both dug their cloth masks out of their pockets and shook them free of lint before strapping them on. "What for?" she asked. "Asbestos," he said. "Hydrogen sulfide, the masks might help. It's better than nothing. Be careful. Don't touch these pipes. They're scalding hot. Also, high voltage electrical lines, so try not to grab hold of anything if you slip and fall." Boots hit the stair above, and there was nothing to bar the door with. They could either lie in wait to shoot whoever came through, or put as much distance between them as they could. With Val in harm's way, Guy chose discretion over valor. Farther on, he noticed a bag of tools left behind by someone impatient for lunch. Rummaging through it, he found a box of ball bearings. Palming a small pile of them, he cast them on the floor to bounce and skitter towards the door. Then, dutifully closing the box, he stuffed it into the bag and shouldered it, nodding for Val to continue. They moved single file along the steam tunnel's brick tube, Guy leading with his gun hand, the other taking hold of Val's with a calm reassurance that comforted her. The air was wet and metallic, and fluorescents buzzed at unhelpful intervals. Guy counted access plates. T103, T101, T099. Behind them, the door clanged open. Val swallowed a gasp, and Guy pulled her in front of him, squeezing himself against the wall and trying not to touch the pipes running along it. When he was between her and the gunman, he aimed back down the tunnel. "There they are!" a voice hissed, and they raised their weapons. Guy fired, blowing a hole in the large tube beside the 4 men, and 400-degree steam exploded from it, engulfing them once again. They howled in agony, making Valentina flinch. Trying to run and stepping on bearings, some went down, reaching out to pull others down with them, and they collapsed, some landing on scorching hot tubes that burned them further. Man down! Man down!" a voice howled on Priya's radio. "What? Come again?" she asked. "Send medics!" "Do you have eyes on the girl?" "Negative. Send help." "How many casualties?" she asked, annoyed. "All of us," the voice replied. Then Hammond's voice crackled on the line again. "Told you,